Elections are around the corner in Karnataka, and the state has turned into a marketplace for reservation agitations. Castes, communities, subsects are all in an open auction with each other, demanding change of reservation status, recategorization, and enhanced reservation. Anybody can hold the government to ransom. With the threat of losing votes hanging over their heads if they do not back these reservation demands, politicians cutting across party lines are more than happy to play along, irrespective of how legally unsound these demands are. It doesn't matter if these demands are illogical, unjust, and simply not feasible, especially those coming from socially, educationally, economically, and politically dominant sections of the society. From religious leaders to MLAs, from pontiffs of powerful mathas to ministers, even Chief Minister of Karnataka Basavaraj Bommai himself seem to have no concern about how absurd these demands are and how they are actually undermining and subverting the purpose of reservation. I am not saying this. BJP's own leader, Minister of State at the Union, nonetheless, A. Narayan Swamy, pointed out to how reservation agitations in Karnataka are defeating the purpose of reservation.
ಯಾವ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಭೌಗೋಳಿಕವಾಗಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ವರ್ಗ ಈ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆ ಸಮುದಾಯಗಳಿಗೆ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದರು. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಅಸ್ಪೃಶ್ಯತೆ ಆಚರಣೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಆ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದನ್ನು ಧಿಕ್ಕರಿಸಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಗದವರು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಈ ದೇಶದ 90% ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಮೀಸಲಾತಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಅರ್ಥವನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಗೆರೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಶೋಭೆ ತರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Before I proceed, a quick reminder of how reservation currently functions in Karnataka. Believe it or not, the entire population of Karnataka, all castes, categories, communities, sections fall under one reservation category or another, especially after the union government in 2019 brought in the EWS 10% quota. Even forward castes like Brahmins, Arya Vaishyas, Mudaliyars, Jains, who were not covered under any reservation in Karnataka till 2019, are now eligible to claim reservation under the EWS quota, making the entire state, population of the entire state cutting across caste, community, sectional lines, eligible to claim reservation. And they are divided into 7 broad categories. The implemented reservation currently is divided into 7 broad categories. SCs, the scheduled castes, about 101 castes under SCs get up to 15% reservation in Karnataka currently. STs with about 50 communities get about 3% reservation in Karnataka. Category 1 that contains backward classes gets 4% reservation in Karnataka. Category 2A, which comprises about 105 other backward classes, gets 15% reservation in Karnataka. Category 2B with Muslims gets 4% reservation. Category 3A with Vokkaligas and their subcastes gets 4% reservation in Karnataka, and 3B, the last of the 7 categories, includes Lingayats and their subcastes and gives them 5% reservation. Very recently, the Basavaraj Bommai cabinet gave its nod to increasing SC/ST reservation in Karnataka by 6%, which will make SC reservation up to 17% and ST reservation up to 7%. Now, this decision is yet to be discussed in the House, is yet to be passed in the Karnataka legislature, which is likely to be taken up later this week at the Suvarna Saudha legislative session. Because implementing this hike in reservation will breach the 50% ceiling set by the Supreme Court in the Indra Swani case, the government will have to pass a resolution and then compel the union government to accept this resolution and make a constitutional amendment to the 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution. On Thursday, Panchamasali Lingayats carried out a massive agitation in Belagavi demanding that they be given reservation under 2A category instead of the current 3B. If this demand is granted, Panchamasali Lingayats, the largest and the most powerful sect within the already politically dominant Lingayats, will compete with historically marginalized categories or castes or classes or sections like Iriga, like Kumbara, like Madivada for reservation in the 2A category. Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai was very quick to assure the community that his cabinet in the next meeting will adhere to their demand or will accept their demand. The threat was very simple by the community. If you don't give us the reservation we are asking for, then we will teach you a lesson in the upcoming election. On Friday, it was the turn of the Vokaliga community to demand a hike in reservation. Currently, they get 4%, and now they want 12% reservation. And a delegation led by Vokaliga ministers in Basavaraj Bommai cabinet met the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister was all smiles when he received this memorandum from the Vokaliga delegation. The response of the government to the Panchamasalis and the Vokkaligas has been starkly different when compared to the lathi charge that Dalit groups had to face a couple of weeks ago in Bengaluru when they were agitating, demanding internal reservations. The most vulnerable section of the society was demanding internal reservations within the quota that has been given to them, and they had to face police lathi charge. The difference is pretty stark. You may take offense to me calling demands for increased reservation by dominant castes or dominant groups as absurdity. Well, it is not just the timing, but the logic itself. There is no doubt that there are vulnerable sections within these dominant groups and dominant castes. There is no doubt that there are people within these communities that need to take the benefit of reservation. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure social justice. But here is why these demands, these protests are not justified. The government is aware of it. The government knows it fully well, yet it chooses to prop up or support such agitations for electoral gains. Ironically, the Panchamasali reservation stir was propped up by leaders of BJP themselves to put pressure and to alienate then Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa from the community. And now it has turned into a headache for the BJP in Karnataka. The BJP's internal survey tells the party that this Panchamasali reservation agitation is one of the huge challenges it will face going into polls, probably also denting its poll prospects. Anyway, while Lingayats claim that they comprise 20% of Karnataka's population, leaked data from the caste census in 2015, according to a report from News 18, estimates their population at around 14% in the state. Minister for Higher Education of Vokkaliga himself, Dr. Ashwath Narayana, on Friday, while submitting the memorandum to the Chief Minister, insisted that Vokkaligas make up 16% of the state's population and hence their demand for a 12% reservation is justified. However, data, once again from the said report, suggests that Vokkaligas make up just about 11% of the state's population. Both these communities are land-holding, land-owning communities, fairly better off, significantly more educated and socially, politically more dominant than SC, STs, OBCs in the state. Let me give you a simple example. Karnataka has so far had 6 Vokkaliga chief ministers and 9 Lingayat chief ministers. And how many chief ministers from the Dalit communities has Karnataka had? 0. How many chief ministers from ST communities has the state seen? 0. Karnataka's Brahmin population is estimated to be around 2.5 to 3% of the population, and Karnataka has had 2 chief ministers from that community. A report suggests that SC and ST communities put together have just about 4% land holdings in Karnataka. That number or those numbers should give you an idea the difference between dominant classes and castes and oppressed classes and castes in the state. The purpose of reservation as enshrined in the Constitution is advancement of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities and citizens from socially and educationally backward sections. Also, adequate representation. With the union government introducing EWS quota for forward castes, the purpose of reservation has already been undermined. Take, for example, Karnataka. Forward castes make up just about 4% of the state's population, but are eligible under the union government's rules to claim 10% reservation. 10% reservation for 4% of the population, while SCs, STs, OBCs are struggling to get adequate representation despite reservation in government jobs in educational institutions. How squared is that? Now, leaders, especially ruling party MLAs from Lingayat and Vokaliga communities, are assuring their communities that the urban poor within Lingayats and Vokaligas will be made eligible to claim reservation under the 10% EWS quota. Under the current norms set by the union government, that is simply not possible. The union government has been categorical in stating that the EWS quota is only applicable to castes, communities, subsects that are not already covered by any other form of reservation. Those leaders assuring their communities that the urban poor from Lingayats and Vokaligas will be included into the EW list are failing to also say that rules need to be changed for that to be made possible. Recategorization within the community will also need to be made to make urban poor eligible for EWS quota if rules permit and changes are made. But when lip service is the purpose, facts don't matter. The government is making tall claims and promises, assuring accommodation of all agitations, all demands of multiple communities and subsects without having enough data to justify it. Reservation is not a poverty alleviation scheme, and this has been reiterated multiple times. We still live in times when a Dalit is not allowed inside a temple, even if they are an elected representative. The job of a government is to ensure adequate opportunity and representation to those sections of the society that have been deprived of it for centuries. Dominant castes circumventing the purpose of reservation with the full support and authorization of the government only defeats the purpose of social justice. Do stay tuned to South First. We will keep bringing you more updates, and this is State of Play with me, Anusha Ravi Sood. Thank you for watching.